Welcome to this, the 8th day of looking at the self. Let us remember everything we've learned over the past 7 days and now apply it to this yoga session. Stay tuned in. Focus on your flow of breath that you continually aim to make longer and deeper in both inhalations and exhalations, creating space and elevation through inhalation and surrendering, letting go when exhaling. Think about, whilst you're in the movements, whether you are dealing with tensile stretch, whereby you will be able to increase the flexibility and suppleness within your tendons, ligaments, muscles, or whether you are dealing with compression, where two bones joining can make no further movement. It's about looking at the self, being observational of your physical self and your psychological self at all times, and moving slowly with perseverance and patience, all will become clear. Let's get started. In a comfortable seated position, preferably cross-legged, rising up through the trunk of the body. Close the eyes and connect with your flow of breath. Be aware of your lungs, your heart, your diaphragm, and scan the body, looking for any pockets of tension that you may have. Possibly within the shoulders, you might find that your shoulders are drawing up towards your ears, and that you could exhale and relax these down. At the same time, softening along the jawline and unclenching your teeth. Breathe in through the nose, and as you exhale, drop the chin down to your chest. Breathe in, coming back through the centre. Exhale, drop the head and neck back, chin up, nose pointing up to the ceiling. Breathe in, returning to the centre. Exhale, turning the chin to the left so that the chin runs parallel with the left shoulder. Breathe in, moving back through that neutral position to exhale and take the chin to the right. Breathe in to the centre. Exhale, drop the ear over toward the left shoulder. Breathe in through centre. Exhale, drop the right ear toward the right shoulder. Breathe in, back to that neutral central position. Keeping your eyes closed here because you can have a better visual of the self with the eyes closed. Think about the tip of your nose now. Visualizing it possibly as the tip of a pencil, and you're going to start making small circular movements in a clockwise direction, still allowing the flow of breath to lengthen and deepen, and in a graceful flowing movement you can then stop and commence rotating, making that circle in an anti-clockwise rotation. Teeth unclenched and coming back to neutral. Let's bring our left hand outside of our left hip. Let's breathe in and stretch up through the right side of the body, starting at the right hip. Rising up through the torso and reaching the right arm up and over. You want to keep your right shoulder above your left shoulder, both shoulders in line with the hips. You want to keep both sit bones connected with the mat, the rug, the ground beneath you. And slowly, in time with your lengthening breath and your releasing, surrendering breath, you can edge those left fingers outwards. Only taking the position to where is comfortable for you in your practice today. Avoid overstretching. That won't be beneficial to the body or mind. It's about keeping the ego in check, keeping the observation at all times, whilst journeying with your breath and your body, really feeling your way. Drawing the breath in to pull the tummy in to support the spine as you return to centre, ready to exchange and stretch laterally with the spine to the other side. So we've got our right fingertips out in line with our right hip. Breathe in from the left hip, create space up the left side of the body, into the left armpit, the left elbow. From the left elbow, reach into the left wrist as you're now laterally bending to the right, keeping the left sitting bone as securely connected to the rug as your right sit bone. So your upper body weight is dispersing equally and evenly between both buttocks, both sit bones. At any point during the position, if you want to close the eyes and have a look at the self from an inward perspective, then do so. Breathing in to pull the tummy in to support the spine as it rises, restacks and returns to the central position. You might want to swap the feet over if you are in a cross-legged position. For now, a forward flexion of the spine. Breathing in and creating space deep down from the pubis, lifting up to the navel, rising the pelvic region upward, lifting the hips up and away from the femur bones, extending up through the trunk of the body, bringing the hands forward and just walking those fingertips out in front of you. Having a stretch and a flow of energy travelling down through the back of the body, travelling down into the sitting bones, you want to ensure that they remain connected with the mat. Nice deep breath in as you lift the stomach internally to create a little more space. And then exhale, flex the elbows down. Breathe in, straighten the arms, stretch up through the torso to the crown of the head. Exhale, flex the elbows down towards the mat or the rug. Breathe in, straighten the arms, have that elevated spaciousness coming up through the trunk of your body, and then exhale, bend the elbows, release them to the mat. If you're able to stay here, then do so. Start allowing the head to relax, looking at bringing the crown of the head further forwards. If this is not attainable for you today, then you can stay with the hands in front of you and keep focusing on the breath and creating the space to which you will progressively move into. Relaxing the hips, those ball and socket joints. Release the quadriceps away from the femur bones, just let them surrender whilst in the position. And breathe. And then pull the tummy in to support the spine as you restack the vertebra, coming back to centre. Let's just bring the hands behind the buttocks now. A nice deep breath in as we draw up through our trunk, keeping the buttocks still connected with the mat. And we're just going to dome the chest upwards, open the heart space, lift the chin and lower the head and neck back. So we're getting a backward flexion of the spine. Not the most full and complete backward flexion, but it's a great place to start warming up the bones of the spine. Returning to centre once again. Now we'll bring our right hand outside of our left thigh. We'll use that left arm to help prop up our torso and our spinal cord. We'll take a breath in and we'll lift the flesh on the trunk of the body upwards before commencing rotation. So we're turning the spinal cord first from the base, the bottom area, the coccyx, the sacrum, the dorsal, and then we'll start moving the thoracic spine and we'll take the skin on the trunk of the body with it. You can use your hands to move the skin if you choose. Give yourself a helping hand. It's totally allowable. You will turn the head and neck last. The axis and the atlas connecting to the skull. That pivotal process. And then keeping the lift that you achieved in that twist, come back through centre and prepare to go in the other direction. Always taking your time to refocus on your breath, to adjust and adapt to the movement, to experience fully the movement you are making with your mind, your body, your breath. Check in the fullness of the position whether you're drawing your shoulders up towards your ears, creating tension that is unnecessary. Just let them relax. Focus on the torso, turn the skin, activate it, get it communicating, and keep that lift as you return to the centre. Breathe in, bring the shoulders forward, up. Breathe out, shoulders go down and back. Breathe in, forward, up, down and back. Make nice rotations with the shoulders. Make them as smooth as possible, synchronized with your flow of breath. Relaxed in the skin on the face, the jawline. See if you can go in the opposite direction now. So you breathe in, take them back and up. Exhale, forward and down. Breathe in, back and up. Exhale, forward and down. See how smooth you can make the process. Still retaining that observing of the breath and the feeling of release, of surrender. You don't need to be keeping hold of any tightness at the moment. And then we come back to central position. Now let's begin with some core strength. So we're slowly going to take ourselves into a tabletop position. Draw the tummy in so that you're scooping the skin and the muscles back towards the spinal cord. Really does help support the work that the spine has to do. Knees hip width apart, hands shoulder width apart. Really well placed. Get your back as tabletop-esque as you can. And we'll take a breath in, and as we exhale, we'll stretch that right leg out behind us. Thinking about drawing the hamstring up towards the ceiling as we push the heel of the right foot towards the wall behind us. Another breath in and out. Now breathe in, and as you breathe out, trace the right big toe past the left foot and out to the left side of you. And then back to the centre once more. Breathe in, and as you exhale, trace those toes all the way out to the left-hand side, so you're actually passing the left foot. Breathe in to return to your starting position. Breathe out, trace the right toes all the way out to the left, and then come back to a central position. Breathe in, stretch those right toes away from you, and then raise them to hip level. Now remember to keep the energy rising up through the palms of the hands and the wrists and up to the shoulders, rather than crashing the weight down. You're going to take another breath in, and as you exhale, release the left arm. So you're now balancing on right hand and left knee, ensuring that your weight is being distributed equally to these two planted, rooted parts of the body. Keep the breath flowing. Now another breath in, and as you exhale, bring your right knee in towards your left elbow and tuck the chin in towards the chest. Bring the nose down towards the right knee if you can. Extend. So you'll breathe in to extend, you'll breathe out to fold in. Breathe in to extend, breathe out to bring nose to knee, elbow towards the knee. Let's do it one more time. A breath in, stretching through to fingertips and toes, and then exhale into the centre. And with control, without collapsing, return to your tabletop. Other side. A breath in, stretch the left toes behind you. Breathe out, trace them out past your right foot. And then breathe in, it comes back to that starting position. Breathe out, trace those toes round past that right foot, and then breathe into the centre, and a third time. And then drawing back to that central tabletop. Make any adjustments that you require here. Rise up through the arms, lift the energy, unclench the teeth. Next breath in, and then exhale, stretch that right foot behind you and raise the left foot, and raise the left foot to hip level. You will then release the right arm, and you'll stretch into the right fingertips with the same intensity that you are stretching back and down into your left toes. Ensuring that your total body weight is evenly distributed. Nice deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to fold into the centre, bringing the left knee in towards the right elbow, the nose down towards the left knee. Breathe in, stretch out, lengthen. Breathe out, close in, curl up. Breathe in, stretch out, lengthen. Breathe out, close in, curl up. And then with control, return to a central tabletop position. Nice deep breath in as you drop the belly and raise the chin and the eyes up to the ceiling and lift the tailbone. Breathe in, scoop the belly, round the shoulders, arch the back. Exhale, drop the belly. Concave the spine. And keep this movement flowing now, this exchange of flexion within your spinal cord, observing how smoothly you can make this transition when synchronizing it with your breath. Acknowledging your flow of energy. And then returning to a central position. Let's turn the toes under. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Lift the knees just away from the mat, the rug, the floor, and see if you can hover. Engage in those stomach muscles to support your spinal cord, activating the skin on your torso. Indeed, activating the strength in your mind. The power of the mind is infinite. Utilize it. Another breath in, and as you exhale, you're going to begin to lift the tailbone up towards the ceiling to bring yourself into dog pose, head down. You want your ears brushing on the insides of your upper arms so that you have a nice natural extension through your neck and head from your spinal cord. You're going to bend and straighten the legs here alternately, stretching out through the Achilles tendon on both legs alternately, and then bringing both feet to come to a stationary position, visualizing yourself as that inverted V. Avoid collapsing the stomach muscles. Try not to clench the teeth. Instead, sit with and journey with your breath. And then very nice and slowly, you're going to walk your feet in towards your hands, and you can walk your hands to rest beside your feet. If you are unable to get your hands down on the floor, then no worries, you can rest your hands onto your shins or onto your thighs just above the knees. Avoid pressing onto the knees. You don't want to put pressure on the knees. It's better to hold on to the shins or the thighs. Be aware if you are pushing your buttocks to the wall behind you and you've got all the weight in the heels of your feet. See if you can just transfer that weight. So bring your buttocks directly over the heels of your feet, and you will feel slight movement here, but that's fine. You can adjust and adapt to that. You might like to have a block in front of you if you feel that will help you, by having something to place the hands on. Even if you have a chair, you'll be able to rest your forearms onto them. There's many tools you can use if you feel it will benefit your practice. Take the creases out of the back of the neck. Avoid trying to hold the head up. Let it go. You want the crown of the head to be pointing down towards the floor. If you do have some stretch here and can go further, look at placing your fingers and palms of hands under the balls of your feet. Allow the energy to circulate up the backs of the legs, down the spine to the crown of the head. Breathing in from the heels of the feet, up the back of the legs. Exhaling, surrendering down the spine toward the crown of the head. Surrendering down through the arms. And gently release. Let's take our feet hip width apart, slightly turning our toes out. A nice deep breath in. As you exhale, begin to bend the knees, coming down into a squat position. You want to keep the heels of the feet on the floor at all times. If you find that the heels are rising up, then you need to keep your buttocks up a little bit. And maybe just rest with your forearms on your upper thighs, or have your forearms resting on a chair or table in front of you until the time comes that your Achilles tendons start surrendering and stretching, as do your gastrocnemius and soleus in the calf muscle, in the calves. And you're going to drop down into full squat. Bring the pubis to rest just above the floor, the mat. The palms of the hands come together in prayer position. You can use your outer triceps, the skin of the arms here, to widen out the inner thighs. Observe your position and any inaccuracies you may have. Are you rolling onto your insteps? The feet, are they looking more like this and you're really struggling to keep the position? Can you roll your inner thighs outwards? Get the weight going into the outer edge of the feet. Lift the insteps. Unclench the teeth. Breathe. Very gently, bring the hands in front of you. Breathe in and start to straighten the legs. Bring the hands onto the shins. Walk the hands up the legs. Pull the tummy in. Tilt the pelvis. Drop the chin onto the chest. The head will come up last. And once the head and shoulders are up and centered over the hips, bring the feet together to find yourself in the position known as Tadasana, mountain posture. This position will correct your stature, your alignment of your skeletal frame. Pick the 10 toes up, have a stretch into them, maybe spread them a little on the mat in front of you, and then place them back down. Keep the breath flowing. Unclench the teeth. Ensure that you have a nice upright position whereby you might even like to just put one hand on the tummy, one hand on the base of your spine, and just tilt your pelvis. Remember, we learned about the pelvic region in ancient times. It was known as the basin. holds all your internal organs, so you don't want them spilling out when you just have your chest dropping forward, your stomach, you've relaxed, and your buttocks pushing behind you. You want to keep them all secure, all drawing into your central axis, your spine and your head. I'm going to do a balance. Let's bring some balance and true coordination to our body. Tree posture. You're going to take your right foot and just peel the heel of the right foot away from the mat, and then turn that right knee out in line with your right hip. Take your time with this. You might find that it's on a 45-degree angle to begin with. That's fine, you're going to work it slowly. It's all about loosening this ball and socket joint. Every time you breathe in, you're going to be lifting up just the mind, sending a message, telling the hips to lift, so that that femur bone can rotate outwards. You can use gentle pressure with your right hand on your right inner thigh. Head and shoulders directly placed over the hips. If you can take the foot up further, you could have that right foot at the inner left knee. And you want to be looking at getting the sole of the right foot pressing against the inner left knee, and the inner left knee meeting, pressing the sole of the right foot. If you do have balance and coordination that will allow you to go up to the root, right up to the pubis with the right foot, the right heel, then do so. Again, always looking at having your head and shoulders directly over your hips and that tilt of the pelvic girdle, so that your core is strong and supported. And then you can raise the hands slowly to shoulder level. Moving slowly and consciously will allow you full control. We're going to turn our arms now. We're going to turn them from the shoulder girdle, the shoulder socket. So we're not just going to rotate at the wrists, we're actually going to fully rotate from right up in the shoulders, so that the palms of the hands face the ceiling now. You can even, in time, as you do become more flexible, the thumbs will drop down toward the floor and the little fingers will come up towards the ceiling. All in good time. Nice deep breath in, create space. As you exhale, extend the fingertips to the floor, and then breathe in, and from the hips, lift the flesh up through the trunk of the body as both arms begin to raise, bringing the hands together over the head. Tree posture. Without looking down, acknowledge your left toes and see if you're really tensing them and having them grip into the floor. Take the pressure off of them, take the tension out of them. Allow your body weight to disperse itself equally into the four corners of your left foot. Your face relaxed, teeth unclenched, hands passing down the front of the face, coming to rest at the heart chakra, your heart space, place of truth. And retaining your total control, because you are moving nice and slowly, you can release the hands and release the right foot to bring your body weight into both legs and feet, and have a moment here to experience how that feels. You're going to have pulled more strength into that left leg, because it's just taken your whole body weight on the one leg. And now we're going to even that out by transitioning to practice tree pose on the other side. Your head and shoulders directly centered over your hips. Breathe in and peel the left heel away from the mat, the rug, the floor, and use your left hand to gently touch on your left inner thigh and help rotate that left knee out to the side. Just check that the torso, the trunk of your body, is still facing directly ahead of you, and that you haven't turned it to the left whilst you was rotating the left leg out. It's all about looking at that area where the movement is originating from. So in this instance, turning your leg out originates in the hip, that ball and socket joint. Remember, breathe in, lift the hip, exhale, turn the femur bone. A round of breath to find yourself, to place yourself nice and firmly. If you are able to get sole of foot to connect with right inner knee, then do so. And remember, the sole of the foot and the knee, they're both giving the same amount of pressure to each other to keep them stable. If you have the balance to bring that left heel all the way up to pubis, the root of the tree pose, then do so. And then using control, breathing in, lifting the hands to shoulder level and extending that organic energy all the way along the arms. Think about it. For some of us, our skin gets very loose around here, the triceps and the biceps, the skin loosens. Just send it a message to grip it back to the muscle, and the flesh and muscle grip to the bone. It doesn't have to be loose. You can communicate and ask it to engage and tighten and tone and help the bones of the arms as they turn. So turn the flesh with that rotation that you've made. Use the flesh to help the fingers extend down to the floor as you breathe out. Rise up through the trunk of the body, the skin there. Pick up internally. Lift the stomach. Bring those hands up over the head, the palms meeting together, pressing together with the same amount of force. Yoga does not discriminate between left and right. Both left and right work together to find unity and peace in the middle. With the strength and grace you went into the position, you come out with. Returning to a central mountain posture. Nice deep breath in as you take the arms once again to shoulder level, as you use the flesh on the arms to help those bones of the arms rotate, the humerus bone, the radius and the ulna, and you extend your phalanges down toward the floor, and you breathe in, and everything on the body elevates upwards as the fingertips come up over the head. And let's bring the palms of the hands together once again, and then let's interlock the fingers, but just leave the forefingers straight. So it's almost like it's the Charlie's Angels hand gesture. Keep a nice relaxed state in the head, jawline, throat, shoulders. So be aware, if you're doing this, drop, if you're bringing those shoulders up towards the ears with concentration and stress, just drop them away and loosen. Take a nice deep inhalation. Create space internally. Lift pubis to navel, navel to breastbone. Exhale. Push your hips out to the right and take your hands over to the left. Don't go too far too soon, because you have other rotations of breath that can create more space for you. You want to keep that right shoulder directly over the left and both shoulders remaining aligned with your hips. Avoid stressing the toes, gripping them into the mat too much. The toes can remain relaxed. Pull the stomach in as you go through centre. Exhale, let go of those shoulders away from the ears. Another breath in, scoop up internally, create space. Exhale, push your hips to the left, stretch over to the right. For some of you, your ego is going to want you to get further than you might be able to achieve in this practice, and it might make you collapse the outer side of the body forward, so you think you're getting lower, but actually you've come well out of alignment and you won't actually be getting all the real nutrition from the movement. So look at having that exact alignment. Shoulders on the same plane as the hips. It's almost as if you're pinned between two panes of glass and there's only a few inches between them for you to make this movement. And then come upright, central, and then gracefully release the arms down by your side. You might like to just drop the chin down toward the chest and watch the rise and fall of your chest as you take a breath in and out. Breathe in and bring the hands to your heart space, palms of hands joining together, equal pressure in both to make the connection. Nice deep breath in. Without looking down, jump, step or walk your feet about 4 feet apart and release the hands to rest in alignment with the shoulders. There is no need for the hands to be higher. This will only make your heart have to work more than is necessary. So you can have the hands shoulder level. You could even have them at a slight decline so that you can stay nice and relaxed throughout. You do still have your head and shoulders placed centrally over your hips. There's still that feeling that you are between two panes of glass, keeping you nice and aligned. Take a breath in, lift your toes and turn them to the left. Your left foot will turn out 90 degrees and your right foot will turn in 45 degrees. Already, send that message from the mind down to the soles of the feet to take your body weight equally, to stay relaxed in the toes, to draw the energy upward through the legs, to lift the skin up over the calf muscles, to rise up through the shins, to raise the knees, to actively engage all parts to assist. The trunk of your body faces the wall in front of you. Breathe in, rise up, create space. Lift up internally through the centre, lift the sides of the body, and then as you exhale, begin to stretch to the left. Not too fast, because you'll have another breath in where you can create further space, and this will increase your reach. This will increase the stretch through your arms and through the side of your torso as you begin to slowly lower, bringing the left hand to rest down on that left leg. Even if it's at the thigh, that's fine, and keep your right arm aligned, so at all times your right shoulder is stacked over your left shoulder and your right fingertips are in alignment with your right shoulder. Take the time to observe, look at the self, feel it, experience. Be aware if your ego has now come in and it wants you to get lower and it's dropped you forward and you look like this. This is incorrect. You may be further down in the position, but you aren't actually further into the position. Over time, with patient practice, your body will let go. It will begin to surrender. Your mind will surrender. And that is what brings about suppleness and flexibility. There are many ways to practice the triangle. You can take the hand away from that left leg. If you feel that you already have the yogic capacity to hold your core strong, then do so. You might like to practice this against a wall so that you're keeping that upper right shoulder, that upper right hand pressed against the wall as well as your right buttock, and then you'll really feel the stretch. And pull everything in at the core as you return to that central position, bringing both feet to 12 o'clock, into the star position, 5 points of the body now, the toes, the fingertips, the top of the head. Allow the energy to circulate freely. Keeping the arms up will increase your upper body strength. It will increase the ability for your arms, the flesh and the muscles to tone. But if you do need to lower them and take a breather in between practicing left side, left side, then do so. It's all about tailor-making your practice to fit your body and your mind. Breathe in, lift the toes, and let's turn them to the right. And check the positioning of the feet. Right foot turns out 90 degrees, left foot turns in about 45 degrees, but the trunk of your body remains facing the wall in front of you. Nice deep inhalation, everything is lifting up, rising, making space, and then the reach commences, the stretch. And it doesn't happen too quickly because another elevating breath is about to come in, which creates more space to surrender, breathe out, whilst moving into. Slowly experiencing what you're actually doing with your skeletal frame, your muscles, your skin, looking at any inaccuracies in your positioning. Have you slumped forward because you want to get right down low rather than be up a little bit further, but in a correct position, acutely aligned so that all of your internal organs grip to the specific places they're supposed to, as nature intended. Teeth unclenched. And then breathe in to rise, to return to the center, to bring the hands to the heart space, to jump, step or walk the feet together without looking down at them, and to then bring yourself down onto the mat in a kneeling position. Now, if you need a bit of extra comfort in your kneeling position, Then remember, get a cushion, put it underneath your knees or underneath your buttocks, wherever it feels good for you. And just place the palms of the hands one on top of each other, pose of contemplation. Close the eyes and become aware of how you feel, both internally and externally. After a couple of rounds of deep breathing, we're going to bring ourselves round onto our buttocks, extend our legs away from us, and let's move into a seated forward bend, and then preparing to take ourselves down into a supine position where we can relax out in Savasana. But firstly, forward bend. You can get the flesh of your buttocks, pull it out behind you, take a nice deep inhalation, lift up, rise up, and then as you exhale, hinge those hips over the two femur bones, take yourself forward to a point that's comfortable for you. You might even like to just have your hands by the outer shins. You might like to just rest them on your lap. You can even rest a cushion onto the thighs and just allow the body to extend over that cushion. Unclench your teeth, unfurrow the brow. And then slowly scooping the tummy in, pulling the belly button, the navel back toward the base of the spine, allowing the fingertips to just trace along the front of the legs, chin on chest, round your shoulders forward so you're getting this nice rounding of the spine, tilt the pelvis, pull the tummy in so that you can slowly connect each bone of your spine with the mat. There'll come a point where you'll feel as if you just really want to let go and drop back. Try and encourage yourself not to let go. Activate, engage your core. Control it. Slowly release down, and then once the shoulders have connected with the mat, you can then let go. Allow those toes to drop outward. Heels point toward each other. Let your knees roll away from each other. Allow your inner thighs to roll outward. Relax through the trunk of the body. Allow your shoulders to rest back into the mat. Have your arms just away from the sides of the body, the backs of the hands touching the floor, and the palms of the hands face the ceiling. The fingers will curl naturally. Let there be space between the fingers. Without disturbing the spine, gently draw your chin down towards your chest so that you lengthen the upper neck and you rest centrally on the back of your skull. Allow the eyelids to slowly close over the eyeballs. And now really start to soften, to surrender. every breath you let go of is another step toward relaxation. Relaxation is all about the absence of tension. You can increase the release of tension with every exhalation you make. Thereby, you can quite possibly keep yourself in a state of relaxed calm always. Because after every inhalation you take, you make an exhalation. And when you exhale, you surrender. Every time you breathe out, your diaphragm relaxes. Every time your diaphragm relaxes, the rest of your body follows. Your nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system, they relax and surrender every time you breathe out. Lengthen your breaths. Extend your exhalations. Increase the time you take to breathe in and breathe out. Be aware of the heavy weight of your body now pressing in to the ground beneath you. Feel the ground beneath you rising up to support the heavy weight of your body. Soften and relax the skin on your face. Allow your teeth to part slightly. Peel your tongue away from the roof of your mouth, and you'll feel it swell in the mouth and touch on the teeth as you relax and let go. And the breath flows through you, in you, out of you. Your chest rises and falls. Your belly button rises and falls. And the heavy weight of your body presses down deeper, further into the ground as you surrender and relax even more. And if the mind wanders, bring it back to focus on your breath, on the rise and fall of your chest, on the peace that surrounds you. This is your perfect time to do absolutely nothing at all. worries or no problems here. You don't have to think about anything. Don't worry, the world outside will still be there when you are finished in this relaxed state. Relaxing now is giving your mind and your body the crucial opportunity to regenerate, revitalize, and refresh. Tell yourself now, you are regenerating, revitalizing, and refreshing your mind and your body. New vital energy seeping out from your solar plexus like a golden liquid, moving through the whole of your body, all the way down to your feet, your toes, the skin underneath your toenails, this golden liquid, vital energy filling the trunk of your body, seeping outward through your arms, into your wrists and hands, flowing up into your neck and head, repairing, regenerating, revitalizing. And in these precious moments of release, surrender, space in time, you can find peace. And this you can carry forward into the rest of your day or night ahead. Now brush the thumbs across your fingertips and wiggle your toes. Lick your lips and swallow. Listen outside of the room for any distant noises that you can tune into to sharpen your acoustic sense of sound. Draw the air that is in front of your face into your nostrils and become aware of any smells on or around you. Flicker open the eyes, once again seeing your surroundings. You might like to have a stretch, taking the hands up and over the head. Stretch into the fingertips as much as you stretch into your toes. And when you're ready, you can roll onto your side to rest. Just a moment. Before bringing yourself to return to an upward seated position, to give thanks to yourself for looking at the self, for journeying and just learning a bit more about your nature, your psychology, your physiology, your physicality. Hope it's been helpful, and carry on with the yoga practice. We'll have some more sessions being uploaded soon, so stay with me if you would. Enjoy, and thank you.